The Camon 50 Pro is the kind of phone that looks premium and feels exciting at first until you start pushing it a little more. So in this video, I want to talk about the real experience with this phone, not the marketing, not the shiny poster, just the good, the bad, and the parts Tecno probably hopes you don't focus on too much. So let's get right to it. For design and first impression, I will give Tecno credit here. This phone looks good, like very good. The Camon 50 Pro has a 6.78-inch curved AMOLED display, and the body is also quite slim at 7.88 millimeters. So once you hold it, it gives that expensive feeling first impression. It doesn't look like a cheap phone at all. And I think that is one thing Tecno has become very good at. They know how to make a phone feel special before you even turn it on. It's stylish, it's sleek, it has that this phone should cost more than it does kind of vibe. But of course, looking premium and being premium are not always the same thing, and that is where the real review starts. Now, the screen on this phone is honestly one of its strongest points. You get a 1.5K curved AMOLED panel with a 144Hz refresh rate, and for daily use, that immediately makes this phone feel smooth. Scrolling through Instagram, TikTok, X, YouTube, or even just moving around the phone, everything feels fast and lively. And for the average user, this is the kind of thing that you notice quickly. Not everyone cares about chipsets and benchmark scores, but almost everyone knows when a screen looks nice. Colors pop nicely, blacks look deep, videos look good. The curved display also adds that extra premium feel, even if some people still preferred flat screens. But let me be honest here too. Curved displays can still be a bit annoying sometimes. You may get accidental touches once in a while. Some people also just don't like the way curved screens reflect light from the side. So yes, it looks nice, but it is still not automatically better for everyone. Still, overall, this display, I believe, is one of the reasons this phone feels more expensive. Now, one feature Tecno is also really pushing on this phone is the durability. The Tecno Camon 50 Pro is military grade certified with IP69K, IP69/IP68, which are high-level ingress protection ratings resistance to dust and water. And I won't lie, this is actually one of the more useful premium features to have on a phone, because this is not just one of those things that sounds nice on paper. It can matter in real life. Maybe rain catches you outside, maybe there is a splash around the sink, or maybe you are using your phone with wet hands. That extra peace of mind is a good thing to have. Tecno says the Camon 50 Pro can handle up to 2 meters of water for 30 minutes, and that definitely helps the phone feel more premium and more complete. Now, of course, this is not an invitation for you to start pressing your luck with water. I still wouldn't advise you treating it like some underwater phone, but as an everyday protection feature, I think it is genuinely useful, and it is one of those things that makes the phone easier to trust a bit more in daily life. And from a buyer's point of view, I would say this is one of the stronger selling points, because not every phone in this range gives you that kind of reassurance. Now, let's talk about performance, because this is where I think a lot of people need to manage expectations. The Camon 50 Pro runs on the MediaTek Helio G200 Ultimate with 8GB RAM and 256GB storage. Tecno also mentions 8GB extended RAM, making it a marketed total of 16GB RAM. But you know, that extra RAM is virtual and it doesn't work the same as actual physical RAM. And this is my honest take on the performance of this phone. This phone is fast, but not that kind of fast. For normal everyday use, it is fine. Apps open well, social media runs well, messaging, calls, browsing, streaming, basic multitasking, no problem. So if you're just a regular user that wants a phone that feels responsive, the Camon 50 Pro will probably satisfy you. But once you start pushing it, you begin to see where Tecno made the compromises. This is not a performance beast. This is not the phone I will confidently recommend to someone who is very heavy into serious gaming or wants the strongest chipset for the money. So to put it simply, this is the kind of phone that you enjoy using until you start pushing it. Now to the cameras, because this is the part Tecno really wants people to look at. And to be fair, the camera setup is interesting. You get a 50 megapixel camera with OIS, a 50 megapixel 3x telephoto camera, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Tecno says it uses a 1/1.5 inch sensor and OIS, which should help with stability and low light performance. In real use, that usually means better daylight detail and more confidence when taking quick shots. Then there is the telephoto camera, and honestly, this is the part that makes this phone stand out a bit. A 50 megapixel 3x telephoto on a phone like this is not something you just, ignore. It gives more useful zoom than the usual 2 megapixel decorative sensor brands like to throw in. On paper at least, that is a real upgrade, and I respect Tecno for that choice. But now, here comes the part where I have to be brutally honest. They gave us a telephoto lens, but the ultra-wide is only 8 megapixels. So you win some, you lose some. That's the thing. So it's a smart camera setup in one direction and a slightly frustrating one in another direction. Because for many normal users, ultra-wide is actually something they use a lot. Group photos, buildings, indoor shots, landscape. So while the telephoto sounds exciting and helps spec sheets look stronger, the ultra-wide still feels like the weak link in the camera setup. And that's the kind of trade-off a lot of reviews won't emphasize enough. The camera is good, but not equally good across the board. Now, from a normal user point of view, this is how I would put it. If the lighting is good, this phone gives you nice photos most of the time. The main camera gives you sharp, colorful images. The telephoto should help you get cleaner zoom shots than you normally expect in this kind of phone. The portrait mode nicely blurs the background, although they sometimes come out looking overly processed. Selfies from the 32 megapixel front camera also come out detailed enough for social media. It records videos at up to 2K 30 frames per second, and the stabilization is decent. But consistency is where a lot of mid-range phones reveal themselves. This camera setup looks impressive, but I would still describe it like this. The camera is good, but not always consistent. Some shots may look really nice, some may feel over-processed, some may look a bit too sharp or too bright or too, AI touched. And that's kind of normal for phones in this category, but it is still worth saying because people don't buy a camera phone only for the best case result. They buy it for the everyday experience, and everyday experience is about consistency, not just one fine shot under perfect sunlight. The battery on this phone is a big plus. Tecno lists it with a 6150 mAh battery, and that is comfortably large. That alone tells you this phone is aiming for strong endurance. For a regular user, this should easily be an all-day phone, and not just one of those phones that, barely survives till evening. I'm talking about a kind of battery life that gives you peace of mind. Social media, calls, YouTube, some photos, maybe a bit of gaming, and you are still not nervous every few hours. That matters a lot in real life, especially for Nigerian users who care about battery for obvious reasons. And honestly, that is one area where Tecno usually understands the market well. People here notice battery performance fast. A phone that lasts long will always have an advantage. So yes, battery life is one of the strongest selling points of this phone. Now, let's talk about the software, because this phone is not just trying to sell hardware. Tecno is also trying to sell the experience. And one thing I would give Tecno is this: if you like customizing your phone, HiOS usually gives you plenty to play with. You can change themes, wallpapers, fonts, icons, and other little visual things to make the phone feel more personal. So for people who don't like their phone feeling too plain, that part is actually nice. It kind of gives the phone more personality. It doesn't feel bare, it doesn't feel boring. There are always things to adjust, and some people genuinely enjoy that. Now, on the AI side, Tecno is also pushing a lot more here. You have AI features that are meant to make the phone feel smarter. Things around assistance, writing help, search, photo tools, and image to video generator. And here is my honest take on it. Some of these AI features are useful, some are nice to have, and some are kind of things you may try once and never use again. Not every AI feature becomes part of your actual daily life. So I wouldn't tell somebody to buy this phone because of AI alone, but I also won't ignore it because for some users, those little smart tools will make the phone feel newer and more modern. Now, the honest side again, sometimes iOS gives you so much that it starts to feel busy. There are customizations, there are features, there are AI tools, but it can also feel like a lot. While some people will call it feature-packed, some other people will call it cluttered, and honestly, both are correct. So overall, HiOS 16 gives you more customization and more features, but it still walks that line between useful and overwhelming. For network connectivity, this is a 4G phone, and I think whether that matters depends on the kind of buyer you are. For some people, it won't matter at all. Their current usage is fine on 4G, and maybe their area is not, getting proper 5G benefits anyway. So for other people, especially those buying a phone that they want to keep for a long time, it may feel a bit limiting because once a phone starts looking this premium and carrying pro branding, people naturally expect it to feel more future-proof. So I wouldn't call 4G a deal breaker for everybody, but also I wouldn't ignore it. It is definitely something worth thinking about before buying. Now, let me quickly say the things I genuinely like about this phone. I like the design, the display, the battery life. I like that Tecno added proper water resistance because it is one of those features that sounds small until the day you actually need it. I also like that they try to make the cameras more interesting with the telephoto lens. And I like that HiOS gives users a lot of customization and modern features to play with. For the other side, I don't think the performance is strong enough to match how premium the phone looks. I think HiOS, while feature-rich, can still feel busy. And I think the camera setup, while interesting, is not as balanced as it first sounds. That telephoto lens is nice, but the ultra-wide feels like the sacrifice. So my final opinion on the Tecno Camon 50 Pro 4G is this. If you care about design, display, battery, and you want a phone that looks and feels nice in everyday use, you may genuinely enjoy this phone. But if you care more about stronger performance, cleaner software, or a more balanced all-round experience, then the compromises will start to show the more you look at it. So yeah, that's my honest take on the Tecno Camon 50 Pro 4G. And if you enjoy this kind of honest review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.